the end of the mother, artificial wombs, and mechanical birth. Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Designer Baby series. This episode is not just about science, it's about the slow erasure of something sacred, something foundational. The mother, not as caretaker, but as portal, as the original technology of life. Because with the rise of artificial wombs, we're not just outsourcing childbirth, we're rewriting the very role of women in creation. The womb is being replaced, and the age of mechanical birth has begun. Let's start with the facts. Ectogenesis, the development of a fetus outside the human body, is no longer theory. Scientists have already grown lamb fetuses in artificial fluid-filled biobags, complete with umbilical cord analogs, synthetic placentas, and monitored nutrient delivery. Human trials are expected to begin within the decade, and some researchers believe artificial wombs could be mainstream by 2050. The stated goal? To save premature babies, to help women with medical complications, to reduce maternal mortality, to increase reproductive freedom. But let's not pretend this stops at medical necessity. Once the tech exists, it expands. What begins as a lifeline for preemies becomes an option for the wealthy, a convenience for the elite, a selling point for those who want a baby, without the inconvenience of pregnancy. Think about it. No morning sickness, no labor, no body changes, no postpartum recovery. The fetus grows in a sleek, transparent chamber, monitored by AI, optimized by algorithm. The parents get updates via app. Birth becomes a product, and the mother becomes optional. This is the real shift. We're not just advancing care, we're phasing out nature. And with that comes a spiritual rupture. Because the womb isn't just a physical organ, it's a gate, a sacred space where soul meets form, where energy condenses into flesh, where the unseen becomes seen. When you remove the mother, you don't just change the process, you change the soul contract. What happens when a child is not gestated in a woman's body, but in a tank? What happens when there's no heartbeat to sync with, no hormones to imprint, no intuition guiding development? What happens to bonding, to frequency alignment, to spiritual inheritance? Because the womb isn't just warm, it's wise. It codes the child with signals of safety, rhythm, and biological communication. It translates the mother's emotional state into cellular data. It gives the child a sense of place, even before breath. It is not just a carrier, it is a teacher. And the artificial womb has no wisdom. It has sensors, not senses. Code, not compassion. It does not feel, grieve, pray, or sing. It does not transmit lineage. It does not hold the child in sacred frequency. It holds them in sterile simulation, and that changes what arrives. Now, advocates will say this is progress, that removing the need for pregnancy levels the playing field, that artificial wombs will liberate women from the burden of gestation, that this is freedom. But let's be honest, this isn't about freedom, it's about control. Because once birth is removed from the body, it can be scaled, tracked, optimized, mass-produced, regulated, and sold. The female form becomes obsolete, the mother becomes inefficient, and humanity becomes one step closer to a post-human society where life is grown in labs, monitored by machines, and detached from the divine. We must not ignore what this does to the soul. Conception, gestation, and birth are more than medical events. They are rites of passage, energetic portals. And when you remove those stages from the organic process, you strip away layers of spiritual encoding. A child born through a machine is not born wrong, but they are born differently, and that difference must be acknowledged. Because every soul chooses its entry path, and the body it arrives through is part of its mission. If we erase the mother, what missions are we rejecting? What happens when soul-rich, spiritually attuned children refuse to enter through synthetic means? Do they wait? Do they reroute? Or do we end up with generations of spiritless vessels, biologically alive, but energetically blank? These are questions the scientific community isn't asking, because they don't believe in soul, they believe in data. But you and I know better. We know the difference between alive and embodied, between breathing and truly being here. And that difference starts in the womb. The movement toward artificial birth is being dressed as innovation, but it's rooted in impatience, in control, in a desire to bypass the messiness of creation and reduce it to predictable input and output. But life isn't a product, and the feminine isn't disposable. Even now, the rhetoric is shifting. Articles describe pregnancy as risky, inconvenient, inefficient. Terms like external gestation and womb outsourcing are being normalized. Celebrities are already shaping the narrative, calling surrogacy empowering, calling artificial wombs the future of parenthood. But we must see through this. Because when birth becomes sterile, soul becomes secondary. When the feminine portal is replaced with glass and code, we don't just change childbirth, we change what it means to be human. So what happens next? At first, the artificial womb will be optional, but soon it will be preferred. Insurance companies may offer better rates for machine-born babies. Employers may reward women who choose external gestation to avoid time off. Governments may promote artificial wombs as tools of population management. And slowly, the mother fades from the picture, not because she wasn't needed, but because she was inconvenient. This is not about resisting technology. It's about remembering essence. You cannot mechanize motherhood and expect the soul to stay unchanged. You cannot remove the portal and expect the spirit to arrive the same. There is something primal, powerful, and sacred in the female form. In the contraction, the swelling, the instinct, the labor, the release. It is not just biological, it is divine choreography. And when we forget that, we don't just redesign birth, we desecrate it. This is not the end of women, but it may be the end of the mother, unless we remember who she really is. Not a machine, not a vessel, not an outdated step in a more efficient process, but the original altar of life. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.